Hi, I would like to introduce you to the great horses of Japan. Now, I'd like to explain, again with eating Japanese snacks. This time is Admirevega. Admirevega is a male horse born in 1996. His father was Sunday Silence and his mother was Vega. Sunday Silence is, needless to say, the strongest stallion in recent years. Vega is a double T-era horse who won the Oka Show and Oaks in 1993. Her father is Tony Bin and her broodmare sire is Northern Dancer, so she has a pedigree that seems to be a collection of the top stallions of each era. Thus, Admirevega could not have had a better pedigree at the time. Admirevega was Vega's first foal. Vega was pregnant with twins. In the racing world, it is said that horses born as twins do not make it big. So when it was discovered that Vega was pregnant with twins, one of the fertilized eggs was crushed, leaving only Admirevega. The newborn Admirevega had front legs bent inward. This was the same with his mother Vega, but her son was a little better. Vega suffered from having his front legs bent inward, which put a lot of strain on his legs, but Admirevega had a slender body, so he did not put too much strain on his legs and did not suffer the same as his mother. His mother, Vega, was ridden by Yutaka Takei. He was visiting the ranch to see Vega again. He met a young Admirevega. Yutaka Takei then commented, "He looks like a dog or a deer." Admirevega was not a good-looking horse and was what one would call mediocre. But when he turned 1 year and 9 months old and began his full training, who rode him said, "Flexible, springy throughout the body. I never tire of riding him no matter how much I ride him. Riding him is like driving a luxury car." He continued to train well and entered the Hashida stable at the age of 2 years and 9 months. Hashida's stable had Silence Suzuka, who was on a winning streak at that time. The assessment of Admirevega's run was mediocre. However, trainer Hashida sensed something in Admirevega and created a race plan targeting the following year's classic race. Specifically, the plan was to win the debut race in November, the Erica Show in December, and the Grade 3 Radio Tampa Cup at the end of the year, before heading to the classic races the following year. His jockey was decided to be Yutaka Takei. On November 7, 1998, Admirevega's debut race was held on that day. Just a week before this, Silence Suzuka had died as a result of a fracture accident during the Tenno Show autumn race. Both Yutaka Take and trainer Hashida were disappointed, but they managed to turn their minds back to the race. Admirevega's debut race was at 1,600 meters. He was the favorite and secured a good position throughout the race. Then, on the last corner, the path was blocked, so he moved to the inside track. He accelerated from there, overtaking the horse in front and finishing 2.5 lengths ahead. However, when he moved to the inside on the final turn, he was deemed to have obstructed the path of another horse and he was relegated to 4th place. This incident, which occurred 2 weeks in a row, was troubling to trainer Hashida, as it was just after Silence Suzuka's death. However, trainer Hashida decided to run Admirevega as planned. Although he had not yet won, his next race was set for Erica Show, as planned. He was the favorite in Erica Show, a one-winners race, although he was a non-winners class. There were a total of 8 horses in the competition, so he was able to compete without being excluded. Admirevega chased 6th of 8 horses, moved up to 2nd on the final turn, and took the lead on the final stretch. A horse from behind was closing in on him, but he held it off just enough to finish. He was able to successfully get his first win and enter the open class. He went on to compete in the year-end Radio Tampa Cup as planned. Again, Admirevega was the favorite. He got a bit of a false start, but moved to the outside on the final corner and accelerated on the final stretch. He then overtook the horses in front of him and crossed the finish line in first place, earning his first Grade 3 win. The following year, in March 1999, Admirevega ran in the Yayoi Show. Yayoi Show is a Grade 2 race with a long history leading up to the classic races, and a third-place finish in this race will earn a priority entry to the Satsuki Show. Admirevega experienced his first long-distance transportation for this race, which caused him to suffer from anorexia after arriving at Nakayama Racecourse. However, Admirevega is the favorite and has odds of 1.5. Narita Talk Road, winner of the Grade 3 Kasaragi Show in February, was the second favorite. Admirevega's strategy in this Yayoi Show race was to stay in the back of the pack in preparation for a battle in the classic races. Narita Talk Road, positioned in front, was the first to break away in the final stretch. Admirevega moved to the outside where the conditions were better and pushed all the way to the front. He moved up in the standings with great speed, but fell a length short of Narita. He did not win, but he did get a priority entry to the Satsuki Show. Thus, Admirevega and Narita Talk Road are now seen as the two main leaders in the Satsuki Show race. However, Admirevega again lost his appetite and training before the Satsuki Show, and his physical condition became unstable. He was not in good physical condition and considered canceling the race, but finally decided to run. April 18th, the day of the Satsuki Show race. Admirevega's weight was 12 kilograms less than at Yayoi Show. Nevertheless, he was the favorite, followed by Narita Talk Road, who was the second favorite. As the race began, Admirevega was in 6th position counting from the back. Narita Talk Road was positioned just around the middle of the pack. Coming around the final turn, Admirevega tried to drive through the outside as he did in Yayoi Show, but that course was occupied by TM Operato coming from behind, so he switched his path to the inside. He tried to accelerate, but there was not enough strength left to join the battle for the lead and he could only manage a 6th place finish. And it was TM Operato who came through the outside to win this race. And Narita Talk Road finished third. Trainer Hashida thought Admirevega's defeat was due to poor physical condition. Therefore, during the month leading up to the Derby, he focused more on recovering his physical condition than on training. This allowed Admirevega to recover his physical condition as Derby Day approached. June 6th, race day for the Derby. Admirevega's weight was up 10 kilograms from that of Satsuki Show, and he seemed to have regained the weight he lost in Satsuki Show. That means he is in good physical condition. In the Derby, Narita Talk Road was the favorite by a narrow margin, Admirevega was the second favorite, and TM Operato was the third favorite, with these three horses being the center of attention. As the race began, Admirevega took his usual position in the back group of horses. His two rivals were in front of him, so he was able to race by watching them. At the third corner, the first move was made by TM Operato. And Narita Talk Road followed suit. Admirevega did not move and was still gathering strength. Rounding the final corner, he moved to the outside and sped off. The final stretch of the Tokyo course is more than 500 meters long. TM Operado stalled a bit around 200 meters to the finish line. He was replaced by Narita Talk Road, who took the lead. Then, Admirevega, who had come from further back, overtook them all together. Thus Admirevega won the Derby title. His time tied the record time set by Inez Hujin in 1990. Yutaka Take had also won the Derby the previous year with Special Week, making it the first time in history that he won the Derby 2 years in a row. Admirevega began training for the Kikasho after about a month's summer break. He chose the Kyoto Shinbun Cup as a prelude to the Kikasho. Narita Talk Road, who finished second in the Derby, also ran in the Kyoto Shinbun Cup. Admirevega tried to accelerate in the third turn, but could not find a path and had no choice but to move to the outside and spurt. On the final stretch, Narita Talk Road attacked the horse in front. And then Admirevega attacked from further outside of it. Although the gap to the second-place finisher, Narita Talk Road, was small, it was a comfortable victory by Admirevega. Admirevega became a mainstay in the Kikasho because he won without any problems in unfavorable circumstances. Another rival, TM Operado, chose the Kyoto Grand Prize for his prep race, a showdown with an older horse. And he did well, finishing third against top horses like Special Week and Majiro Bright. In the Kikasho, Admirevega was the favorite as expected, but the race was expected to run at a slow pace as the front runners cancelled their entries one after another. For Admirevega, whose strategy is to overtake from behind, a slow pace is a disadvantage. To make matters worse, Admirevega was the favorite and was marked by other horses, blocking his path. He had no choice but to move to the outside and spurt. Narita Talk Road and TM Operado, who raced more smoothly than he did, broke away in the final stretch, with Narita Talk Road finishing first. Admirevega chased hard, but 6th place was the best he could do. For him, this was the worst possible race development. Admirevega was rested after the race. His rest lasted until the following summer, when he resumed training in July. He had planned to compete in the Tenno Sho Autumn and Japan Cup, but on July 31 he developed ligamentitis in his left front leg and had to retire. His total is 4 wins in 8 races. The following year he began his stallion career. From the first year, he attracted a large number of mares, breeding a total of 665 in 4 years. But unfortunately, he died suddenly in October of his 4th year. The cause of death is said to have been gastric rupture. Only 4 generations of foals remain. From that group, Kiss to Heaven won the Oka Show in 2006, the first title for Admirevega's foals. This marked the 3rd consecutive generation of classic race winners from her grandmother Vega. In addition, Blue Mendlet won the Mile Championship in 2008. The sudden death of Admirevega was truly regrettable, as many other horses besides them have won graded races. Had he lived longer, he must have had a more impressive stallion record. That's all for this time. If you want to know more about Japanese horses, subscribe to this channel. Thank you.